people ask, what's the mission of the museum? I'd say, well, it's vertebrate biology wherever that is at the moment, wherever that takes us, whatever subdisciplines or ancillary fields that are important in the forefront of vertebrate biology, that's where we should be.
Phylogenetics,
functional morphology,
physiology,
systematics,
landscape ecology,
genetics, comparative morphology,
behavioral ecology,
conservation,
evolution,
evolutionary biology,
evolutionary biology,
evolutionary biology,
evolutionary biology.
The mission of the museum is to provide an environment that fosters the best research that it can.
The museum is both a resource and an intellectual environment. And I think my job and the job of the other faculty is to make that an intellectual environment as rich as we can, so that students who come in can do their best, can maximize their potential. And by and large they do, with astonishingly good results.
I don't know whether temperamentally I'm particularly scientific. I think this was learned. But where it was learned, I think was learned at Berkeley.
I came here with a rusty old Ford and a wife and 2 kids and about $600, so this was a real leap of faith.
When I was a graduate student here, the museum seemed like the best place in the world to be doing field studies of animals.
The museum has always been very supportive of pretty much anyone who was productive and anyone who did good research.
Whatever research I did there influenced the rest of my life. I think without the MVZ, I wouldn't have gone into research.
It was a very rich environment. Graduate students in those days virtually had to be thrown out. Nobody wanted to leave. Nobody wanted to finish their PhD. It was a wonderful place and a wonderful time. I learned taxonomy by remembering which floor was that case on and so on. Old MVZ had 3 floors, and they were the mammals were arranged by Simpson's classification of the mammals, and so you could remember Simpson's classification by remember what floor and what aisle and that sort of thing. And so, of course, I gained a great deal of information and appreciation of museums and well-curated materials.
When I was here as an undergraduate, I was lucky enough to be able to work in the herp lab, along with Ted Pappenfuss was there before and after and forever.
I was assigned to checking the alcohol level of every single jar in the amphibian and reptile collection. And so this was sort of an informal course in the history of herpetology of the world. And I spent an entire 2 semesters very slowly completing my tasks, because I was certainly spending as much time looking at the specimens in the jars as I was filling them up with alcohol.
This is when Dr. Stebbins was doing the plates for his first edition of the Peterson Field Guide, and he would disappear into his office with the specimen. The door would be closed for all day, and then late in the afternoon he'd come out and the animal would have been anesthetized and then posed on clay, and the next morning he'd come and get it and go back and work on it. And sometimes it took 2 days to finish with one of these illustrations. And then he would bring this animal back out to the herp lab and he said, now this animal is going to be used in the book. It's an illustration. We have to take very good care. I want you to prepare it, preserve it in good form. And ultimately, of course, they would be put into the collection.